morning, Alan. Hello, everyone else, and welcome to TARDIS Spider. Today, Who Halloween? The month of October is the month of Halloween, and horror films and science fiction films have influenced Doctor Who throughout the decades. So, in the classic series of Doctor Who, here are 10 films and the stories that they had an influence on. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And now, Who Halloween? It's October, the month that ends in Halloween, the time of year when movie screens were filled with horror and sci fi films, a time for Saturday night creature features. So I will look at 10 films, 8 of which have sequels or remakes. Some are the defining characters in horror sci fi film history. Nothing here is obscure. All of these films are classics. Time for a personal note. The horror genre lost me with the original Friday the 13th. Yes, it scared me, more than I want to be scared for entertainment. Buckets of blood, just like explosions and swearings, do not make a film good. They can be a big part of telling the story, but not the basis of the story. 1973, Soylent Green. In a world of overpopulation, food, water, and housing shortages, the people live on wafers called Soylent Green. What they don't know is Soylent Green is made from people. They are making food from people. How long before they start breeding people like cattle? This horrifying premise is brought to the screen in The Revelation of the Daleks, 1985. 1966, Fantastic Voyage. A submarine and crew are miniaturized and injected into an injured scientist to repair damage to his brain. A Cold War thriller from 1966. The Invisible Enemy, 1977. Doctor Who revisits this when the Doctor and Leela attempt to remove the nucleus from the brain of the Doctor. Westworld, 1973. Starting here, all the films have sequels. Westworld also has a series, 4 seasons, I believe, based on the original film. This film has guests visiting an interactive amusement park, meaning interacting with androids when things go wrong. Now, no story honestly reflects this, but the removable android faces can be seen again in The Android Invasion and Four to Doomsday. The Thing, 1951 and 1982. Scientists and Air Force officials fight for their lives against an alien from another world, its ship frozen in the Arctic ice. The Doctor, Jamie, and Victoria will face an alien frozen in the glacier in The Ice Warrior. The Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1956 1978. A San Francisco health inspector and his colleagues, over the course of a few days, discover that people are being replaced by perfect duplicates. The second Doctor defeated aliens duplicating people in The Faceless Ones, and the fourth Doctor faces android duplicates in The Android Invasion. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, 1931 1941, with many more versions to choose. Testing the theory that both good and evil exist in all men, the Doctor tests a formula on himself, releasing Mr. Hyde, his darker side. In The Planet of Evil, Dr. Sorensen uses a potion made to stop the effects of a radiation, only to become a monster himself. The Wolfman, 1941. We are now deep in the pool of movie monsters, with maybe even hundreds of films that they will appear in. The Wolfman with Lon Chaney Jr. is one of the iconic Universal monsters, as are the rest of this list. The bite of a werewolf turns a victim into a werewolf. The Primords of the story Inferno are a close representation, but I will not forget Tooth and Claw. But I focus on classic Doctor Who. Boris Karloff returns in The Mummy, 1932. High Priest Imhotep wreaks havoc on the expedition that disturbed his tomb. While disguised as an Egyptologist, he will meet Zeta Johann, who he believes is the incarnate of his love from the past. Strangely, we will see Imhotep as a mummy only for a few seconds. This movie has a very strong influence on the pyramids of Mars. Dracula, 1931. Real estate agent Renfield travels to Transylvania to meet with the mysterious Count. Dracula is played by Bela Lugosi. Becoming the slave to the vampire, they will travel to London, where the Count begins to feast on an unknowing city. Tom Baker's doctor will face the great vampire in the state of decay. It's alive! One of the most iconic lines in film history. This line is brought to life by Colin Clive when he brings his creation to life. Dr. Frankenstein is obsessed with creating life from body parts. This film is a commercial and critical success and influences film and society even today. This film, of course, is Frankenstein.
starring Boris Karloff.
Doctor Who's Frankenstein is one of the most popular stories ever. The Brain of Morbius, where Dr. Solon builds a body for vanished and executed Time Lord Morbius. There's my list, just in time for Halloween. Yes, there are many stories that are not included on this list, but could be, from both classic and new Who. But that's another video for another year. Thank you, and good night.